timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl! Brady has his fifth! 13! 13! Can you believe it?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Locker Room Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver, joined by the returning mystery man, Sharpy.
How are we all? You're welcome, everyone. I'm sorry that I left and you had to be stuck with Lockie and Ollie, but the king is back. The king is back.
And not only are you back, the NBA is back. Only a week away. I can't believe it. It feels like, I guess NFL's made up for it. We're going to go with a similar thing to what we did last year. We've got the over-unders. I've got the records from last year so we can have a look. We'll start off with the East. We'll just dive straight into it, I reckon.
Fair enough.
No need for formalities. Start off in the East and your favorite Atlanta Hawks, which feels like a love-hate relationship with you now.
No, it's just full hate.
Okay,
I'm still bitter.
Okay, so 45.5 is the over-under, and last year obviously they got the 8th seed with 43 wins. The addition of DeJounte Murray, obviously they lose Kevin Huerter and Gallinari. Do you see them still hovering around that? Do you see them getting... Sorry, before I say anything else, they got Vit Krejci. That's the big addition for them.
Yeah, well, you might as well just have them like 82 wins. That's what.
It's basically having Soldo in the AFL. It's just unfair.
The king.
So where do you stand on 45.5 wins? Do you feel like they're going to go over with the additions, and what do you think of the additions in of themselves?
I reckon they're going to go just under, but it'd be close. I still think they're a great team on paper, and performance-wise, obviously they're a great team as well. But I don't know. I think if Trae Young is pretty susceptible to injuries, as we've seen, he pretty much gets injured for a bit every year. So I'm right. I'm only going off that, but I still think they're going to be a playoff team though.
I'm going to go just over. They did get rid of your man Kevin Knox, sadly. And Sharif Cooper, that was a pretty early exit for him. How many years has he been there? What, 2 years?
One. It was only there last season. That's it.
Well, there you go. And he's gone.
He went to
Spurs.
There you go.
No, it wasn't Spurs. It was Cleveland, which I don't know if he'll get much time there either. But
that's a good get though, because he can be a very crafty point guard off the bench. So
send him to the Jazz. Next up is the Celtics. Now, it's a bit of a shambles what's happening there. 51 wins last year. The over-under is 53.5. Where do you stand with this one?
Over. I'm going to go over.
Even with, so obviously they've had the addition of Brogdon, Danilo Gallinari, who's not going to play because he's done his ACL, and Blake Griffin. They've had a couple others like Justin Jackson and stuff like that.
And like Noah Vonleh as well. He's been solid for them in preseason. Knicks legend Noah Vonleh. Bulls legend Noah Vonleh.
Give us your reasoning behind, I guess, obviously the whole situation with Ime Udoka. I find it kind of strange and a bit stupid. But how do you stand on that? Give us your reason behind going overs.
Well, I think Joe Mazzulla is going to do a good job for them still. Them having someone also a rookie in their team, JD Davidson, that's a great rookie to have on their team. I don't know if Robert Williams is going to be missing for the first few weeks because I think he's injured. I think it last month or something, it was 8 to 12 weeks. I think his left knee or something. That's what he went down with. But I still think they're a great team. Derek White as well. I'm looking forward to seeing a full season with him on the Celtics now. And obviously Brogdon as the second unit as well. I think that's going to be great.
That's a really good get for them. Brogdon, I think, is obviously I think he's the best player they could have gotten, really. Another playmaking defensive guard. Like their guards can all defend. That's pretty scary.
That's exactly what you need. Is
Yeah.
just great role players like that can defend.
And then they got Jaylen Brown, who's not. Yes, he's a shooting guard, but like you think of the three guards: White, Brogdon, Smart, and then you got Brown that can defend. You got Tatum, who's improving. You've got Robert Williams at center. Grant Williams, who they haven't offered a contract to, I've seen, and that
they're not going to either, apparently.
which is a bit interesting. But
so I think this would be the best time for him to prove. He's going to have to prove himself this year because there's going to be 29 other teams. They're going to be monitoring that and thinking if they want him or not.
Yeah, I reckon it'd be, even if he doesn't have a great season, he could go to a team on like not a great big deal, I wouldn't think, and I reckon he'd be a useful piece to a lot of teams.
He's sort of like an Alex Caruso, like type player, and that like
just a bigger version.
You'd hate to lose him, but I mean, you'd be happy to get him.
I'm going to go slightly under. I reckon they will get 50 wins. So I'm just going to go under by a few games. The next one is the Nets, which is interesting because they haven't had any great big ins. They've got Royce O'Neal, which is actually a good in, and TJ Warren. And they've lost Aldridge, Bruce Brown, who I think is a big loss, Dragic and Drummond and Griffin. Now, obviously, the big talking point is Simmons is already playing preseason games. The over-under is 51.5, and they had 44 wins last year. Where do you stand for the Nets?
Just over, I reckon. I even though like Ben Simmons, he played a phenomenal game against the Bucks. Looked really good in that. I think he kept Giannis pretty quiet in that, which is impossible.
Which is hard.
Really. Yeah, you look at all the players in the league who can stop Giannis, and he was one of them that could. So yeah, I've got him slightly over.
I reckon I agree.
Keith Morris also good. I think that's a good acquisition.
Him and Royce O'Neal, very good. And TJ Warren, if he can stay like not injured, that's a good second lineup to run with.
Yeah.
And I think Ben Simmons getting back to his best, start at the center or power forward and then run point guard with the bench unit, I think. And hopefully I can see him chuck up a couple threes. I don't know how realistic that is, but I'm going over. Now this one's very interesting. The Charlotte Hornets last year, they had, how many did they have? 43 wins. This year, the over-under is 34.5. Now, they have lost Montrezl Harrell and Isaiah Thomas, and they've got that issue
Bridges
with
as well.
Miles Bridges. I don't know what's going on there. And they've really brought in their rookies, Mark Williams. That's really it. How do you think they'll go this year? You reckon they'll go over the 34.5?
No, I reckon under.
They're going to be terrible. They're going to be.
Yeah, they're not going to be fantastic. But who knows? Something could happen. I mean, they are a very young team. Oldest player on that team, I think Mason Plumlee, who's like 32.
Yeah.
So they're a pretty young team.
I think they need to get off Gordon Hayward and stuff. They might need to try and trade picks or something just to go, like, I feel like this should be a tank year for them.
Yeah.
Obviously because of Wembanyama, but I agree. I think they're going to go under the 34.5 and by quite a margin.
Even like Terry Rozier and all that.
Yeah.
Well. Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Next up is possibly the overachieving Bulls from last year at most stages. 46 wins last year. The over-under is 41.5. So they've got Dragic. They've got Drummond, who's actually shooting threes. And they've only really lost Tristan Thompson and Matt Thomas.
And didn't they lose Tony Bradley as well?
No, they haven't lost Tony Bradley, not from what I can see. But Lonzo Ball is still very questionable for the first few months by the sound of it. Desonmu started at point guard in this game today. So what was the over?
He's going to be starting as well.
41.5. How do you think they'll go?
Over. I reckon I'll go over.
It's just because Billy Donovan.
Yeah. I reckon, yeah, exactly. You got a good coach there in that team, and that's going to be a good factor for them to finishing over.
And I don't think Vucevic has a bad year like he did last year. Like he had a pretty inconsistent year last year. You got Patrick Williams, who if he gets a full season under his belt, I reckon he can do bits off the bench. And then you got Derek Jones Jr., Desonmu Caruso, and even Drummond now, and Dragic. So I think that second unit's going to be a lot better. I agree. I'll go slightly over. I'm not entirely confident about it, but I think slightly over.
Did you see Javonte Green's dunk the other day? That poster?
No, I haven't seen many of the highlights lately.
It was a very good dunk.
We'll go on to probably the most interesting one, the Cavs. So last year, 44 wins. This year, the over-under is 47.5 because they did overachieve a bit last year. But obviously, bringing in Donovan Mitchell, Big D Akite, who played for OKC last year, Sharif Cooper, as we discussed before, bringing back Ricky Rubio, who I would love to see because he was playing well before he got injured and traded, and Mobley's, I want to say, brother or cousin.
Isaiah Mobley, that's his brother.
Yeah. The only really noticeable outs is Larry Markkinen obviously traded with Rondo and Sexton and OKC legend Moses Brown. So they might lose a fair bit by actually. But where do you stand on the over-under being 47.5?
I'll probably go just over.
Personally, I see him as a 50-win team.
Yeah. Yeah, probably just over around that 50 mark. So, yeah.
I guess
maybe even higher. I mean, you bring someone like Donovan Mitchell on an already successful team.
Yeah.
You're going to get more, but you'd also take the ball out of your all-star Darius Garland's hand a bit.
Yeah. I guess what I'm interested to see is it works. So like Larry Markkinen, I feel like he was an underrated piece in that team at times last year because like they started 3 7-footers, and I think that's what the key was to their success. And we're back. Sorry, I had a mistake there. Back to the Cavs. I think that Markkinen was a big piece to what they did last year, and I don't see if they're going to start. I don't know if they're going to start 3 big men again like they did last year. Who do you see being the 5th starter on that team? Is it Kevin Love? Or Karis LeVert maybe.
Maybe even Dean Wade or something. You know, they were happy to bring him back. I think didn't he sign a pretty long-term deal?
Yeah,
or something?
I think he did a few years.
Not a big deal, but it was. Maybe not even Dean Wade. Maybe I don't know. Okoro, is he still there?
Yeah,
he needs to have a good year. I think he was a bit disappointing last year.
So I guess it comes down to whether they can play without, like, those 3 bigs was what they were known for. Whereas now they're going to have just a relatively normal sized team, other than obviously Mobley and Allen. Do you see that being much of an issue?
They started Lamar Stevens and Okoro against the Hawks. Okoro played 33 minutes. So and he had a good game as well. So maybe they might go with Okoro.
Yeah. You would nearly want to. You want to make sure that he's actually getting his reps in now, and actually starts performing. I'm going to go over. I have 50 wins for them, hopefully, because I do like the Cavs, even though I don't like Donovan Mitchell. So go figure that situation. I guess I just like Garland and Allen. Anyway, move on to the Pistons. I've got the wrong team up here on my computer. Let's go to the Pistons. This year their over under is 29.5, and last year they only had 23 wins. Cade probably going to get the full year, even though he only started the year injured. They brought in Bogdanovic, which is an interesting get. Alec Burks, which is also interesting. Jalen Duren, Kevin Knox, Jaden Ivey, Nerlens Noel, and Kemba Walker. So obviously that big trade they had with the Knicks. I don't know about you, but I'm very confused of why they did those trades, because doing that trade, I get they might get them off some money, but I feel like those players are going to help them just take them to the edge of the play-in. I don't know about you. What do you think?
Nah. Play like Nerlens Noel, he brings nothing to the team except injuries.
And
Burks,
paddle hands.
Burks, he's going to be on a team now with a coach that doesn't want to start him at point guard. So, yeah, how about that? Kevin Knox. Yeah, sure. Bagley, he just got injured. I think he's going to be out for a while as well.
Bogdanovich.
That injury was disgusting.
I didn't see it. Thankfully.
Yeah, he did like the splits or something. It was nasty. Yeah.
Bogdanovich will be
I
nice.
swear Isaiah Stewart hit a 3 in preseason against. I think he hit a 3 against the Knicks in preseason. I don't know if he starts shooting 3. That's a good.
So
that's good.
We won't stay on this team for too long, but where do you stand? I think that'll be an interesting watch. I feel like Killian Hayes needs to have a good season, but 29.5.
Under.
Yeah, I'm going under too.
I think they're going to probably go for Wembanyama, so they're going to be tanking.
Yeah, I reckon 26 or 7 wins they'll get. Next is the Pacers, which is obviously going to be another team that's in that hunt. I don't really want to stay on this team for long. They traded Brogdon, TJ Warren, and they are more than likely going to trade Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. The over-under for the Pacers is 23.5, which is one of the lowest in the East. I'm going to go over just because I got Rick Carlisle.
I'll probably go over, but I like the look of Matron. He obviously they just beat the Knicks today.
Torched you.
And he played really well. I would go over, and it kills me because on paper they've got a really nice starting 5.
Yeah.
With Halliburton and Matron and Sabonis. I mean, Sabonis, Turner.
I was about to say.
Sabonis.
Oh, Sabongo.
Yeah, so I'll probably just go over.
Both going overs. Moving on to everyone's favorite team that played the most exciting basketball, the Heat. Won the conference last year with 53 wins. The over-under's gone down to 49.5. Now, they've bought in their rookies, basically, and some Marcus Garrett bloke, and they let go of PJ Tucker, which I think is a pretty big out for them, even though he didn't have a great year. Markieff Morris. I just don't see this team. I feel like they weren't lucky. They played good basketball, but boring basketball. I don't think they crack 50 wins, but what do you think?
Yeah, I reckon they don't crack 50. Yeah, they're probably about 45, I reckon. That's probably going to be it.
You feel like they're going to be the most boring team to watch again this year?
Oh, they always are. I hate them. I nearly hate. They're probably up there with Atlanta teams I hate.
All right. The Bucks. Now, their over-under is 52.5, and I'll close my phone. 51 wins last year. They bought in the rookie Beauchamp and Bolden. Oh, no, he's not a rookie. AJ Green, sorry, is the rookie. And Aussie legend Joe Ingles. Big Jingling Joe. I had a bet on better bets that have 101 odds. I put it on the Bucks to win the championship. So I'm going to go over, but where do you stand?
I'll probably go over as well. They're probably like you said, they're probably a good team that you could probably put as favorites for the chip. Yeah, looking at their team now, it is interesting.
For the listeners out there, if you've got bet, or if you haven't heard of Better, you can get $101 odds on every NBA team up to $10 bets. We're not sponsored by them.
App as well.
We're not sponsored by them, but maybe.
But I mean, if they want to.
Yeah, I'll slide into their DMs. See what we can do. See what we can do. Let's start powering. Actually, we won't start powering through them because we're getting to the Knicks. We'll power through them after the Knicks. So last year, you should probably know this off the top of your head, Sharpy.
Shit year.
Finished 11th on 37 wins.
Yep.
The over-under is only 1 win higher, and you bought in Jalen Brunson, I'm always going to mess up. Hartenstein, who I rate pretty highly, and OKC legend Svi Mykhailiuk. Now, you did get rid of Alec Burks, Taj Gibson, Nell, just a bunch of junk players that you probably hated, except for Taj Gibson. He always tried, but he got too many minutes for the team. If he played 10 minutes, I reckon he'd be valuable. I think I feel like it might be a play-in year. I don't think he's going to get top 6. But I'm going over for 38.5. But you're the Knicks fan. First of all, how do you rate 38.5? Do you think that's fair? And whereabouts do you reckon they'll go over or under?
That's probably fair. I reckon they're going to be the best of the rest. I think that's probably a good way to describe them. They're going to be the best team out of the crap bunch. That's going to be tanking for Wembanyama.
Yeah.
I like the look of Farron Hunt in Summer League. He looked nice. And obviously Brunson, he's been looking really good so far. But yeah, I reckon
Except
over
for today.
I reckon overs for today.
Yeah.
For
today. I reckon overs too. Now
I'm over them for today.
We'll start speeding through these last 4 in the East because not really caring about much of them. The Magic, 27.5 wins. Now, obviously, brought in Paolo Banchero. They've got Bol, which I reckon they'll actually play, and a couple of other rookies. And they've only got rid of Robin Lopez and your man Brazdakis. Where do you think 27.5? We'll just touch on this one quickly. Over under.
Under. I have nothing to add.
I think solely because of Wembanyama, it's under.
Yeah,
But
I am looking forward to seeing how Banchero plays.
Yeah, he looks good. He does look good. Sixers. None of us really like talking about them. They brought in Montrezl Harrell, Daniel House, which is a good get. Paddy McCaw's back in the league, believe it or not. They've also got D'Anthony Melton from Memphis and PJ Tucker. They only really got rid of Danny Green, DeAndre Jordan, and Paul Millsap. Over under 50.5.
Over. Harden's looking really good.
He's looking slim. He's like Zion in a way.
He is slimmed.
It's like Zion when he's gotten healthy. I think, I agree. I think it's over, and I don't want to go into it because I hate the Sixers. So we'll move on to the Raptors. Now, this one, I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I could be wrong because they could be a very good team. Their over-under is 46.5. Now, they've got Bo Cruz, Josh Jackson, and Otto Porter as big signings, and they've got rid of Svi Mykhailiuk and Watanabe as their big outs. 46.5 wins. What do you think of that?
I reckon they'll probably get 46 wins. So under.
I reckon they'll get a bit. I reckon they'll get 40. I reckon they'll nearly go half and half. Because I feel like they try, but I don't think their lineup's that good. Like, unless Siakam has a really good year, like they've got good players, but they haven't got a star. Like, they've got Scotty Barnes, who's playing really well. He's only coming off his rookie year, obviously. They got Van Vliet, who's always not a star, but he's the level below that. And the same with Siakam, I personally think. You going unders as well then?
Yeah.
All right. Last one, Wizards. God help me.
Whatever it is, under.
35.5.
Who did they get?
They got
Taj Gibson. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so over 82 wins.
Oh, I reckon they'll lose one though. They'll lose to OKC, so 81-1. I'm going under. I don't think there's any need for discussion on that one. Now, we've gone through them pretty quickly in under 26 minutes. I was going to go split them up, but I think we might just continue going to the West. I haven't got Slugs Horsey tips, which feels like I haven't had them in ages because we've been doing Tuesday pods. But we'll start that again next Thursday. Let's just go to the West, shall we? I'll get back to the top so I can get to the order. The Mavs, 48.5. Now, their big ins, obviously Jalen Hardy, the rookie, JaVale McGee, Christian Wood is probably their biggest in, and he's going to be their sixth man. And obviously with their big outs, Boban, Jalen Brunson, and Trey Burke. What do you think of 48.5? Obviously, Luke is the MVP favorite to start off the year. Where do you stand?
Probably see him go over. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're not really that. I don't know. Them losing Brunson as well. Like it's still going to be Luka holding the ball heaps.
Dinwiddie might take up that Brunson spot though. No, obviously not as well, but I feel like Dinwiddie towards the end of the last year in the playoffs started finding his rhythm finally again.
Well, I mean, if you look at ESPN, they were getting all hyped because Dinwiddie hit a spinning whatever shot.
Standard.
Cheers.
I'm going to go, I reckon they're going to be a 50-win team, but I don't think their lineup's good enough to do anything in the playoffs. But we'll get back to
they did well in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, but I feel like they overachieved significantly in the playoffs. And I think they probably
could have taken credit due to Brunson there.
Yeah. I think they could have taken a couple games off the Golden State Warriors that they were a bit unlucky with, but I think that Warriors lineup's just a bit too stacked. Nuggets. Now this one's interesting. 51.5. They've obviously got hopefully a healthy Michael Porter Jr. and a healthy Jamal Murray. Now I didn't know this. DeMarcus Cousins is out. He left, has he? Where's he going? I thought he was
he's on a different team every season.
I thought he was staying, but Will Barton's gone to Washington. He was a big, I feel like a big piece. Ken Pazzo's gone too. Jesus. Monte Morris too. God, they're Austin Rip. What the hell? Hold on, I've missed some things here. And Austin Rivers, but they've brought in Bruce Brown, which is a good get. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, which will be good. DeAndre Jordan, media, yeah. And Ish Smith, which is always a pretty good backup point guard. Healthy Jamal Murray and healthy Michael Porter Jr., 51.5. Do you reckon they can get there?
Yeah.
Just with Jokic?
Yeah.
Does Jokic win MVP again? We'll get to that later, but
yeah.
Do you have any other comments you'd like to say about the Nuggets?
No, not really. I mean, they're just a good team.
They're one of my favorite teams to watch just because of Jokic.
I just love Jokic.
And that series between Nuggets and Jazz when Murray and Donovan were just going off at it, like
that was awesome.
Oh, so hopefully I can see Murray back to full health, and even Michael Porter Jr. If he can just stay healthy, I want to see how he goes. His body shape is perfect for a young future star, but he just can't. He's got everything but the health and the shot right now. Golden State Warriors. Oh, sorry, I'm going to go over as well. Golden State Warriors 52.5, obviously defending champs. They brought in Dante DiVincenzo. Oh, we've got a 10-minute warning. JaMychal Green. They've got Ty Jerome already. I did not know that. Well, there you go.
He could be on their practice team.
Well, that's good enough.
The squads wouldn't be finalized yet.
And they've only really lost Gary Payton II, Otto Porter, Juan Toscano, and Bielitsa. 52.5. I feel like with it'll be interesting though with the Draymond Green situation.
Did you say Gary Payton as well?
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, I said he went to Portland.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like with the Draymond Green, it all depends on the Green situation. I don't see them reconciling with what's happened. If one of them's got to go, and at this stage you'd say it's Draymond.
Yeah.
But if hypothetically, if this team stayed together with a healthy Wiseman coming back, Moody a year on his belt, Kuminga, who doesn't at times look like he knows how to play basketball, he's just very athletic. If they another year under their belts, I think they go over, but it all depends on Draymond's situation. What do you think?
Yeah, probably, depending. I'd probably see him going over.
Do you think they make the Western Conference Finals again? Oh, well, the finals, but I'm going to go Western Conference. Right.
Maybe.
I think they make it to the Western Conference Finals, but not the finals.
Yeah.
Rockets over under 23.5. Now their big in is obviously Teo Maladone and Boban Marjanovic and Derek Favors.
Hope
But
he's back in Texas.
they've
He's staying
also
in Texas.
they've also got good rookies in Jabari Smith, Ty Washington, and Tari Eason. They didn't really lose anyone big except for Dennis Schroeder, John Wall, who didn't play, and Christian Wood. Over under 23.5. They're going to be in the tankathon. You saying under?
Yeah.
That is a very low number to be under. So I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over. I'm throwing it out there. I'm going over. I don't want to stay on them for too long, but I'm going over. Next team is the Grizzlies. Over under 48.5. They've not really bought in a great deal. They lost Kyle Anderson and Jarrett Culver and DeAnthony Melton. They've got their rookies, big Kenny Lofton Jr., what a king, and
Big
Danny
fridge.
Green. 48.5. Personally, I think they overachieved last year, and I think they're going to go under 48.5. Where do you stand with them, though?
I don't know. Last season, I said they're pretty much in shambles because they didn't really add anyone good, and then they ended up having an unreal season. So
Overachievers.
Probably just under.
Yeah.
I don't really like them, but I'm not going to go off that.
Let's move on to a team that we don't like even more. Well, I don't like. The Timberwolves, 48.5. Obviously adding Gobert, Kyle Anderson, as we just mentioned then. Even though Pascal and Austin Rivers are good gets, they lost Pat Bev. Oh, God, how are you going to recover? They lost Okogie and Vanderbilt. 48.5, I feel like, is a really good line because you don't know what you're going to expect from, obviously, the Twin Towers and Anthony Edwards. Personally, I think there's going to be some growing pains. I think they're going to get just under 48.5. So I'm going to say unders, but I think they get around 47 wins. But where do you stand?
I'm probably actually in the same boat there.
How do you think they're going to go with Rudy Gobert and Towns?
It's going to be interesting. It's probably going to be like a Jared Allen Mobley situation.
It kind of gives similar. I know it's not the same, but the similar vibes to Donovan Mitchell and like you got Anthony Edwards, aka Donovan Mitchell, in this situation. You got Rudy Gobert. I guess obviously Towns is the missing piece. It'll be interesting to see how they work with Gobert, who just doesn't leave the paint with spacing and everything. Whether Ant can still get in and finish inside or not, I guess we'll just have to see. But both going unders, they've had a fair few changes. Now, this is the team I want to talk about the most. The Pelicans, over under 45.5, brought in the Aussie Dyson Daniels and their other rookies. There's no other really notable gets. They lost Tony Snell. What a big loss. And they've kept the same team. But I guess the big deal is whether they can be healthy. And oh, we can't say that anymore. The Snellican. Whether they're healthy or not. 45.5. Over under.
The healthy Zion, I reckon over.
I think over as well. They're my league pass team personally. Do you expect them to do much if they make the playoffs or anything, or do you feel like they're just kind of going to be there like they were this year? They put up a fight in the first round against the Suns.
They're a very inexperienced team.
Yeah.
I don't see him really doing much in there.
Well, I'm completely different. First of all, what are your thoughts on homeless Brendan Ingram look?
I've never heard that one.
It does look like that though. I reckon it looks cool. I like it.
It looks all right.
I like it. I really like it. I think you should keep it. I honestly think this is my bold prediction. I think the Pelicans make the Western Conference Finals. that is my bold prediction for the year. Depending on injuries, it could change in the first week. But we will end the first half of it here, and we will pick up the second half. And, well, there's just going to be a quick changeover break.
Talking about?
We are back from the break. We're moving on to the next team, which is my OKC Thunder. Now, we won't stick on them for long because I know a lot of people don't really care about the Thunder, but we lost Ty Jerome, Vic Krejci, Maladone, Favors, and we're probably going to be bad this year, but that's all right because we're going for Wembanyama.
You keep gaining this player every year, draft pick.
Yeah,
He must be really good.
I haven't seen him start though. I think he just got injured for the season.
Yeah. Oh.
Which is obviously Chet, which is sad. But we've obviously got Usman Jang, who looks promising, but J-Dub is the really promising one. My bold prediction will be for him to make an all-rookie team, not necessarily the first team, but an all-rookie team. Over-under is 20, where is it? 22 and a half. I think it personally just depends on how many games SGA plays. He's going to miss the first week or two, I'd say, with his MCL issue. I'm going to go over, though, because 22 and a half is so low. I think they'll get 23 wins. Where do you stand?
Over.
We're forgetting how good Poku's going to be this year.
Yeah, and Trey Man.
Oh, Trey Man. I've already put money on him to win Most Improved at $501 odds. Oh, no, sorry, $276 odds. So backed him in already.
We love Trey Man.
Next one is the Suns. Now, obviously, had the best record last year. 52 and a half is their over-under. They lost JaVale McGee and your man, Alfred Payton. And they didn't bring in... they brought in Jock Landale, who actually looks like he's getting some time. What do you think their over-under at 52 and a half? Obviously, the issue with DeAndre Ayton.
Crowder's going to be leaving as well.
And Crowder leaving.
He offers so much to the team.
And obviously they lost to the Adelaide 36ers. Where do you stand with them?
What was the line again?
52 and a half.
Under.
Yeah, I'm
probably
going
just
under.
50. I'll probably just have them sit on 50.
I'm going under too. I think they're gonna have to make a trade, I reckon, during the season.
But I think they're interested in getting Jordan Clarkson for Jay Crowder.
That wouldn't be a bad get. That would be so painful for Jay Crowder as well to go to a team like the Jazz.
He wants to leave because of the situation with the owner and everything.
But fuck, that's still funny. Go send him off to a shit team.
Fuck you, Jay Crowder.
Now the Blazers, 39 and a half. Obviously, they're going to get a healthy Damian Lillard. They traded for Jeremy Grant. They got Gary Payton the second, Shaden Sharp in the draft, and OKC legend Olivier Sarr. They lost Joe Ingles, but he didn't play for him. 39 and a half is an interesting line. I think that's a little high considering how competitive the league will be this year. But first of all, how do you think Damian Lillard and Jeremy Grant will go together and whether they'll get over the 39 and a half?
No, it's interesting. I probably see him going under, but I don't really see Jeremy Grant being an impact player.
Yeah,
for them. Great defensively. But yeah, I don't really see that being a big thing.
It'll be interesting to see how Lillard returns as well. Now we'll zoom through these last 4 or 5 because there's a couple of teams that are just dog shit. The Kings. Now their over-under is 33 and a half. Won't go through their main changes. They got Huerta and Malik Monk and Keegan Murray, who looks very, very good. I don't know if he was we'll get to that anyway. Over-under 33 and a half. I'm going over by 4 or 5 games, I reckon. But what do you think?
Probably under as well.
Ooh.
Under.
Are you going under, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you
I
go.
probably don't see him as 30.
There's a big disagreement, but we'll see how that one plays out. I think the Kings finally make the play-in. The Spurs, they're dog shit. Over under 22.5, the same as OKC is the lowest.
Under.
Yeah, I think under. They got
Dog
Isaiah
shit.
Roby though. You never know.
Yeah. But they have Darius Baisley though.
Yeah, true. Utah Jazz, another dog shit team. Let's not stay on it. 23.5. I think they're going to be the worst in the league. I think the Jazz will be the worst in the league.
It's not a good looking situation.
Walker
Kessler though, I reckon he's going to have a good year.
I hope he does. He
for
does.
the Jazz.
Yeah, I hope he does. But I think they will have the worst record in the league, and they're going to play the worst type of basketball ever. And for some reason,
Did they sack their coach? Did they sack Schneider? I can't remember.
No, he left. He left on his own.
Who did they bring in?
I don't even know. I genuinely can't tell you.
Whoever it is, God bless you and good luck.
Yeah. Last two teams, the Lakers, both Los Angeles teams. The Lakers over under is 44.5. I'm just trying to say they brought in Pat Bev, which I feel like is just a way to try and get Westbrook out. They brought in Thomas Bryant, who I liked before his injury. They brought back Dennis Schroeder. Sorry, something happened on my screen.
OKC legend. And
hated severely by the Laker fans. Obviously they lost Melo. I don't know what the hell's going on with Melo. They traded Taylor Horton Tucker for a bag of chips after they praised him so much. And same with Malik Monk. Where do you stand? 45.5 with the Lakers. I feel like it comes down to healthiness.
Under. And I want them to finish not in the playoffs again.
It would be fucking hilarious. I'm gonna go under just. Obviously, LeBron's gonna break the record and everything will look good for him. But
and that's gonna be awesome.
Now this will be interesting.
You're not gonna see that ever again.
Yeah, true. Until Josh Giddey starts to develop his three ball. Last one, the Clippers. 52.5. That is a very high line. Obviously, they've brought in Moses Brown. That's the main reason.
Exactly.
And John Wall, which everyone thinks is going to be a big get for them. I hope
he's looked pretty nice.
I hope he just stays healthy. I really do. But obviously, a healthy Kawhi, a healthy Paul George, and they brought in people they got last year, like Covington.
Did you see Moussa Diabate's poster today on White?
I skipped it. I came up so many times, but I skipped it. I've missed it. Is it good?
Very nice poster.
Where do you stand though? 52.5. I feel like that's a tad too high for a team that we.
Yeah, I'll go under, but they're not going to be. They're not going to be dog shit.
I think they'll be a top 4. They'll have home court advantage, but I'm going to go under too. All right, time to move on to some awards. MVP. We'll start off with the best one. I'll get up the odds on my phone while we go through them. Obviously, the favorite right now, I can't get it up, but I know it's Luka Doncic. Do you have yours already picked out, or are you still umming and ahhing about?
I'm still umming and ahhing. I reckon it's going to be a last minute call.
I think Doncic will be MVP. I think this is the year he gets it. Joel Embiid's a close second in the betting with Giannis and KD. Do you think any outsiders get it, or do you feel like it's going to be one of those three?
Yeah, it's probably just going to be the same three that are always up there.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Doncic. Coach of the year, I don't think we can really do because it's just hard to predict a coach without seeing a team play. Sixth man of the year. This is a little bit more interesting. Let me get that up. Jordan Poole's a $5 favorite. I reckon Christian Wood at $10 personally. Do you have any other thoughts on that, or are you going with the favorite in Jordan Poole?
I'll probably just go with Poole. I reckon Christian
Safe
Wood's
bet.
a good shout. I don't expect him to be.
Even
I didn't expect him to be a sixth man.
who would?
Yeah.
Yeah, they announced that he's going to be a sixth man behind JaVale McGee, which is a good backup. But Tyler Hero's at $10, Norman Powell at 12, and Malcolm Brogdon at 15. Even Spencer Dinwiddie at 21. It's a bit interesting. Your man quickly at 34.
What about Obi? He'd surely be there.
Let me see.
He'd probably be paying a bit more, probably about $60 maybe.
Let's see how far I have to scroll. Ricky Rubio's at $61.
We won't go Obi then.
Pokachevsky's at 91, and I still can't see Obi. You've got Poku in front. Fucking is
Well,
Obi
that's embarrassing.
Obi's not even on the list. Well, I must have
Fuck you,
scrolled past
Tibbs.
him. No, I must have scrolled past him. Unless they expect him to start, but he's not going to start.
He's not going to be starting over Randall.
Manuel quickly there. Okay, let me go through here slowly. Obi Toppin, come on, where are you? He is must be below Poku. He's not there. If you request Sportsbet to put that up, you'll get him at $500 odds. And I think you should just put some money on that. That's amazing. So you going with Poole, did you say?
Yeah, I'll probably go with Poole.
Now, most improved favorite is Anthony Edwards. Second favorite's Tyrese Maxey, and third favorite is RJ Barrett and Zion, and then Jalen Brunson slowly behind that. And that's
who I'm picking.
Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
I don't mind that. I reckon if he can establish himself as an all-star, I think that's the only way he can really get it. The only way Anthony Edwards can really get it in my eyes is if he has a Ja Morant type of season and gets in the MVP conversation. And I don't think that's going to happen. Tyrese Halliburton at $23 odds is a good shout. Same with Michael Porter Jr. at $23, but it depends on his healthiness. And my pick that I have backed already is obviously Trey Mann at $276. So I'd hate to choose a homer, but I feel like he can really have a little bit of a shot. Depoy, Rudy Gobert favorite as every friggin' year, and Bam at $7 and Robert Williams at $8.
I'll go Bam, I reckon.
Marcus Smart's at $21. I feel like it's Bam or Robert Williams this year.
Yeah, I think Robert Williams is probably going to miss too many games for him to that. He's probably going to miss 3 months.
Yeah.
So
is he injured? Is he?
Yeah, he's done with his knee.
Yeah. Yep. Carried across. Yep. Okay. I'll go Bam then as well. And the last one, Rookie of the Year, probably the most important one. Oh, other than MVP. Paolo's a $3 favorite because Chet's not playing, obviously. Jaden Ivey, $5. Murray, $5. Jabari Smith, $6.50. Benedict Maturin, $8.50. And J-Dub, $21. Dyson Daniels is at $36, which is also interesting, but I guess he won't get the minutes as the others will. Who have you got? You told me about the other day, but I can't remember.
I think I'm either going with Maturin or, at the moment, Maturin or Keegan Murray. I think they're probably my two that I'm going to have to decide on who. Is
that just because you don't want to go with a favorite in Paolo as well? Because I feel the same. Like, I don't want to go with Paolo just because he's a short favorite, and he's a safe bet. Like, yes, he's probably going to win it. I don't think Jaden Ivey's going to be in the conversation. I don't think he'll be one of the three. Like, I think he's going to be
with another year of Cade, he's going to be really good, and he's exciting to watch. But I think with a developing Cade, he's going to want the ball in his hand a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Makes the top three.
Because Cade is more of a pass first point guard.
Yeah.
And where Ivy's more of a slasher.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see how both of those two go. But I still think it's either going to be Maturin or
I don't think Jabari Smith's in with a shout either, personally. I just don't see it really happening. I don't see him putting up the numbers. But I agree. I'm going with Keegan Murray. just from what I've seen so far. And like you said, Benedict Mathurin, after the start he's had, and obviously how bad the Pacers are, he's in with a shout. I don't mind Dyson Daniels depending on how many minutes he gets at $36. I'm just going to put money on him because he's a homer, but I think he's got a slight chance. Now we're doing our fantasy. Our draft is tomorrow night. Probably need to start preparing. I don't know about you, Sharpy, but I'm going to join a random league as well, just in case if people die off in our league that I want to join a really competitive one.
Did a couple of mocks today.
So maybe we'll sort this out between us. But if you want to join a second league as well, let me know, because I'll probably do 2 leagues at once. But yeah, next week we'll have our bets on. We'll share our bets. I'll get you to send me a couple that you've put on. I'll put up a couple that I put on my screen, and we'll go through them. But it's good to have NBA back, and it's good to have the mystery man back. Thanks for joining us, Sharpy.
Yeah, too easy. I'm happy to be back. I did miss these. They were.
We'll see if we can get better to sponsor us in this week or in between week.
I mean, I'm happy to say whatever you want for me.
I'll do an ad shoot.
I'll do an ad. I'm good at acting. I'll have to wear like a morph suit, a green morph suit, so I can be invisible.
We'll do the decision. We'll have all the betting agencies in front of us, and we'll go. I'm taking our podcast to Better or Sports Bet or Points Bet. We're not encouraging gambling, but we are, because we're giving our tips. So, thanks for joining us, Sharpy.
Yep. Good.
And hopefully we have you 2 weeks in a row next week. Bye.
No worries.